I have been pushing the agenda that professionals need to relocate for greener pastures. It's a new agenda for me, but I'm really, really passionate about you as a professional looking for greener pastures around you. And when I say it, people think, oh, you're trying to get people to just move and just be everywhere. No, I just saying there is a bigger world with opportunities that are seeking a person like you with the talent and experiences that you have. And usually where we stay, which is home, usually undervalues us. And you tend to get used to it and think, oh, this is the best I can get in this space. Till you see the bigger world and you start to understand that, hey, I can actually play on a global scale. I can actually play in the bigger leagues. And I think if you're a professional, you should really seriously consider relocating for your career growth. Let me tell you why. Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is a best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that income, making that impact, and living fulfilling lives. Today, I'm appealing to professionals to relocate for career growth. This is a new space for me. I'll be honest and say that I would have never advocated for anybody moving for growth or for career, for opportunities, whatever reason, because I do believe that we can prosper in any place. And that's true. But moving to the UK for a little bit, I have realized that in as much as we can grow anywhere we are planted, there are some spaces that offer more opportunities and more exposure. I think it is wise for you to be able to see where you are and say that, okay, this is a business that is making 10 million kwacha. I'm managing 10 million kwacha for this company. But what would it feel like to manage $10 billion? That's a big growth. And that is going to bring different challenges and different experiences. And I think that for us to grow our different economies, we need to have different skill sets. And looking at the different countries that I've lived in, Malawi, and looking at the UK, I can see the different systems, the different challenges, the different opportunities that exist. And I think that even if you don't want to live in the UK forever, if you could get even an internship for a year, you would have so much to learn that would enrich your experience back home. So the relocation for me, it's not just so you can make a few more bucks, which is really good because we all need to make more money. It will solve so many of our issues. But at the same time, it also enriches you as a person. It enriches your experience. What is coming to mind is a boxer. You know how you have these boxers who have like 48 battles. Do you call them battles? They are fought in 48 fights and they have lost none. They're like, oh, none, they haven't lost. And people say, no, they haven't lost because they're not fighting worthy opponents. And they say, well, they don't want to fight those kind of opponents because they want to defend their clean record. I don't know how much joy you can get from that, knowing that I have not lost a fight because I haven't really been fighting at my level. It's like an 8th grader who is really winning because they're playing a game against 3rd graders. There's not much joy in that. There's this challenge that comes with rising up, getting higher, that really enriches you, that really makes you better, so much so that when you go back to that smaller league, you make it better because you have improved, okay? So that is my notion. I believe that there are many capable people. I am from Malawi. I have seen brilliant people, hardworking people, and the best they can get is really not as much, right? Financially, but also opportunity-wise. The best company they can run is not really a big company. You can't even see it on the map if you were looking at global companies. Those are the type of people who, if given the opportunity, they would run big multinationals. They're the kind of people who would work hard, they have integrity, but they need a new opportunity. And because we're used to our small spaces, we just go like, you know what? I'm fine where I am. I have a car. I have 6 houses or 4 houses or 3 houses. I'm going to be here and I'm going to make it work. But there are bigger opportunities. And when you're in spaces like here, that's when you start to see that, oh, the qualifications that people look down on in Malawi, in Africa, there's these qualifications, these experiences that people look down on really matter. They are valued. They are needed. They're in shortage. But yet, when we are in our little spaces, we look down on each other. We're used to scrambling for our limited resources that we really don't see the value of our skills. We don't see the value of our experiences. So let me address a few things that have come up as I have been advocating for this mission of having people relocate for career growth. Number one is lack of opportunities. Many people say, I would love to relocate for career growth and for financial benefit and for exposure, but there are no opportunities. And that is what I would have thought as well in the past. But that is because I was not doing any research and I was not interested in relocation at all. But if I was, then I would start to leverage the internet. There are so many job boards available right now. There is no better time than now to be able to tap into opportunities that are outside your geographical reach. So if you have a desire to work for Google, for example, you can't just say, oh, that's a desire. I wish I could. No, you could actually go to the Google's website. You can see the jobs that they have. You can connect with their talent acquisition teams. You can sell yourself to Google from anywhere that you are. Am I saying it's going to be easy? No. But what good thing comes easy? If being a champion, if winning was easy, everybody would do it. So if you want these opportunities, you have to be willing to search for them. And the internet makes it easier. Show up on LinkedIn. Don't show up in these platforms as a person who just wants to watch. Market yourself. Because if you're not marketing yourself, nobody is going to take notice. Visibility is a big deal. Because if you're not visible, nobody will bring these opportunities to you. So, an African proverb, Malawian proverb, "Jede jede sa utanyama," is true. I think I'll translate it in English and put it out here. But "Jede jede sa utanyama," you really have to blow your own horn to be identified. And that doesn't mean you're being arrogant or anything, but share your skill sets. And that is really tricky for a person like me who comes from Malawi. Maybe not like me, because I do blow my own horn to get opportunities, but not as much as I wish I could. Anyways, you should blow your own horn. And if you're Malawian, you would struggle with this because we enjoy humility. And humility is a good thing, but this humility is a toxic kind of humility that makes you work hard but never really celebrate that work. That makes you push that work and say, I did great work, and take pride in the fact that you're not advocating for yourself for being able to do that work. It's okay to take credit and say, I am able to deliver this and I have delivered it. It's okay for you to demand more. We are forced into gratitude, and gratitude is a great thing. But we force ourselves into gratitude, meaning that we are taking less than we could. So you're like, just grateful you have this job, and you just think, well, others don't have jobs, so I'll just be grateful here. No, it's okay to demand more. It's okay to want new levels. And that requires you to be visible. That requires you to show up on these platforms, not just for entertainment, but with a mission to get opportunities, right? So there are so many opportunities, and people reach out to me and say, connect me to this opportunity. I don't have jobs like piled up and I'm just giving them away. But if I just tell you to go on LinkedIn and search your ideal role, you'll find so many vacancies there. Are all of those sponsored? Are all of them giving out visas? No, but there are some. If you see how many jobs exist, you will know for sure that there must be one that works for you and one that can sponsor you if you're looking for sponsorship, right? So opportunities do exist. Opportunities require work. Opportunities require a system. So give yourself a system to say, okay, how can I show up on these platforms? Where am I posting? How can I change my CV? What do I need? I actually do some coaching sessions for your LinkedIn and for your CV so that you can show up correctly for recruiters. What I learned the hard way is that the job market in Malawi is so different from the job market in the UK. What they look for in the UK is totally different from in Malawi. In Malawi, we are so uptight. And when you're going for a job, let's say in internal audit, they'll tell you, give me 4 examples of controls. And then you mention this and you only have 3, and they'll look down on you, intimidating you, and you feel small in that interview. You're sweating so much. And they're judging you, not really being friendly, because they want to measure how worthy you are. In the UK, it's different. It's more friendly. They are not suspicious of you, because in Malawi, you tend to want to defend the fact that you know what you say you know. They're not suspicious here. Maybe they are in some roles, but I haven't experienced that. I see that you bring your CV, you say what you can do, you back it up with your evidence, like, I really have these qualifications, I've done that. Then they'll believe what you say you can do, right? So opportunities exist. Be a hunter. Look for them, and you will definitely find some. And if you need help, there's a link in the description that should be able to direct you to me. And some resources that I have, some are free, some are paid, but they really will help you be able to identify opportunities and position yourself correctly for them. The second feedback that I get when I talk about opportunities abroad is that there's no money, people don't have resources. And this is legitimate. When you see how much money you need to relocate, it will be intimidating. But I like this story that I shared of my sister and her best friend who have traveled for a vacation outside their country for 2 weeks. You see, the story is that my sister always wanted to travel for a fun vacation. Always wanted to fly to a destination for a fun birthday or a fun just trip with girls, but she never could. And would always look at the budget and think, this is what rich people do. We're not rich. Look at the money we have in the account. Look at the cost of the air ticket. That can happen. But last year, what happened was, as we were talking, and I saw that she really, really wants to do this. She really looks at other people doing it. I said, I wish I could. And we challenged each other, and I told her, go ahead and save for it. 12 months of saving for a trip that other people just take mindlessly. But I was like, this is your reality. You don't have that kind of money immediately. So if you really want to make it happen, save for it. Plan. So she planned and made it happen. 12 months later, she was with her best friend on that vacation. It happened. Why did it happen? A plan. Most of the issues that we struggle with just need a plan. You need 10 million. Okay, you don't have it in your account. It doesn't mean you stop there. Have a plan. How are you going to raise this money? And we have to normalize going through a process. Just because you can't have 10 million today doesn't mean you can't have it in 3 years. There is a process to everything. And because sometimes we want instant results, we give up on things that are viable just because we're not seeing the results yet. So cut yourself some slack. Give yourself a fair shot at your ambitions and goals by having a plan. You want to relocate? How much does it cost? And every time I speak to somebody and they tell me that it's too expensive, they don't have the money, I ask, how much money do you need? They don't know how much money they need. That's the start. Know how much money is needed. And then see what you have and how can you build up to that process. What usually happens is as you start building up towards that goal, it might seem meaningless to say, okay, what I have is so small in comparison to what I want. But as you start, you build momentum and opportunities will begin to open up. And then you find that you have found other ways that help you achieve your goal. Action does that. It attracts more opportunities. But you sitting down and just saying, I don't have any money, and then just sitting on it doesn't make it happen. So yes, you will need a lot of money. Yes, it might be challenging, but there are so many other ways and opportunities for you to go around it. Have a plan. Just dare yourself to develop a plan. It might seem ridiculous, but develop it and implement it. And soon you'll be surprised how much you achieve just by following a plan. Another thing that comes up when I share about this is about the environment. It's expensive to live in the UK. It's expensive to live abroad. It's expensive to have your children cared for. It's expensive. Utilities are expensive. The rent is crazy. And that is true. But I'm advocating for professionals moving, and you're moving to lucrative roles. So I would like for you to not just look at the amount of rent that is being paid, but also the amount of money you would earn. It's unfair for you to think you're paying your rent from your current salary in Malawi kwacha. That would be ridiculous. But if you compare it to you earning in a lucrative job in the UK or wherever country you want to go, you find that it is really comparable. It is really manageable. Again, most of the challenges that we explode in our minds, you can figure them out. You can have a plan. Childcare is interesting. It's challenging, but you can have a plan. You can survive it. You can plan around it. I have the advantage of having my husband who is studying, so I can do work whilst he studies. But even the whole idea of being able to have a hybrid role or a remote role allows you to be able to take care of your children whilst you're working from home. Again, it goes back to the availability of opportunities and you being clear on what you want and looking for it, which is also tough because as a person who's coming from a place where jobs were limited, I would always think when somebody offers you a job, you just take it and just accept it and say thank you and that's it. But you can negotiate, you can look for what you want, you can choose what you want, right? That's the power of planning as well, because you're not under pressure to get a specific job. You're able to say, if I'm relocating, I really need to be at home most of the time. I'll work from home. I'll go to the office once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever time is suitable for you. And that is a blessing to be able to do that. So all the utilities, the child costs, and every other thing, they are real. And I believe that no place comes without challenges. But again, it's figure outable. You'll be able to maneuver, you'll be able to understand, you'll be able to find what works for you. It all starts with you knowing what you want and then pursuing it and being clear on what is acceptable for you. Otherwise, I think it comes off as if it's set in a specific way and you just have to follow it. Like childcare costs are going to be this way. Oh no, you can't work in the day, you have to work in the night because of this. There are different options that are available and you will have to figure it out according to what you want to achieve. The other thing that is also close to my heart is moving from family and friends. That is honestly the most challenging thing for me. I miss these unannounced visits from my mom, from my best friend, these unannounced play dates for my kids, the ability to just pick them up and drop them at a friend's house. And I just miss all that. I miss the familiarity of just family like that, friends like that. And I know that being in a different culture, it's kind of tricky. It's unsettling to figure out because I don't know if I am too open as an African. Is this too open? Is this offending somebody? And you just want to gauge yourself, and that can be a lot of work sometimes. And that's something that I will agree with you that it is a lot of work, but again, it is part of the process. One benefit I have enjoyed from relocating is that my family has become closer. I know my kids more. I spend more time with my husband. We have to rely on each other. We're together all the time. I'm just learning my kids' personalities more because we are together. They know me, I know them, we're hanging out all the time, like literally all the time, which has been a blessing. I feel like I just married my husband again for the first time after 10 years because now we're spending so much time together and then you get to know a person again, get to appreciate them again, right? So that is a plus that comes from being removed from family because I know back home I would be like, I'll be back in 10 minutes and my husband would know that she won't be back in hours because I'll be with my friend, they were just chatting and then we spend more time than we planned because of that familiarity. But now when we're out together, and when I'm knocking off, I'm coming back home because I miss these guys, and that's it. So the advantage of it is that you get to be really intimate with the people that are closest to you, your family, and the negative part is that you miss your greater connections and the breather that you get from having this familiarity and closeness with friends and family. But there are so many opportunities to connect with new people via school, via work, and via church. And I feel like new connections just expand your world because you're not necessarily losing your family back home. They're still in your network, but you're just expanding it. And so you will learn more things and you will grow. So that can be a good thing as well. The other thing, which I think is a key thing, is low self-esteem. And for Malawians, we identify with that feature, with that characteristic, low self-esteem. We look down on ourselves. We like to stay in our comfort zone. And I meet Malawians who are doing well, and I like to think and ask them, like, well, how did you do this? How did you think of relocating, getting this job and living here? They will explain their journey. They will explain how they felt they were limited and they decided to take a chance and stuff like that. And I'll say, why don't we have more Malawians here then? And we all go back to the same story. We like to stay in our comfort zone. We are not aggressive with opportunities. And sometimes we penalize people who seem very aggressive with opportunities because we like to stay where we are. And that is something that is going to be personal to each one of us. For you to admit the fact that, you know what, I am in a comfort zone and I am sticking to it. I need to make a change. Because the opportunities that exist can change your life, can change your family, can change the people you help. You know, you have extended families back home, people who rely on us. So you just being exposed, you making more money, even for a few years, will change so many lives. And to think that the only reason you're not opening that new level, that you're not getting to that new dimension of success is because you're looking down on yourself, that is tough. Most of my content actually addresses these inner things because these are the things that really do block people. you'll be capable, you'll be qualified, and somehow in your own eyes you feel small. Somehow in your own eyes you feel like you're not worthy. Somehow in your own eyes you think they will not accept me. I am not valuable. And therefore that stops you from moving forward. I don't know if we can train each other to be more aggressive. That's my hope with my content, that I'll put a fire that makes you want to stand up for you, that makes you not care what people think or say, and you realize that my truth is that I need new opportunities and you pursue it. I hope that it makes you think, well, I need to grow. I need to cut out this comfort zone. Or no, I need to get out of this comfort zone. I hope it makes you think that way, because I believe we deserve to be part of the people who lead in this work, part of people driving decision making around global companies. We deserve spaces, representation in these places. Because as people get higher in different places, people from Malawi, people from Africa get higher in these different places, they enrich our places back home. And we need that kind of experience. We need that kind of forex. We need that kind of just exposure so that we can grow and move forward. And I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, let me know. And if you need any support, there are links in the description. Click on them, talk to me. You can find me across social media platforms, most of the social media platforms. I love to interact and hear from you. And if you want to relocate, be committed to the process. Know what you want. Be committed to the process. Expose yourself to these spaces, online and offline. Interact with people who have done it. It really removes the fear that is there. It removes the unknown things that block you and hinder you. So just put yourself in that space and allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to visualize yourself getting into these different places. That allows you to then see opportunities, because you'll be surprised that on the same platform, you get there, other people see opportunities. Others get there, they see nothing, they just see negativity. I remember one person commenting on the fact that when they get on LinkedIn, everyone is just sharing the good news. Everybody's just sharing the good news. Is nobody struggling? Like, that's what you see when you get on those platforms. If everybody is sharing good news, isn't that an indicator that you'd say, that means there are good things happening around this world. How can I get me this good news? How about going to those people who are sharing good news and say, how did you make this happen? Can you share a few tips? Instead of standing there and thinking, everybody's just sharing the good news, but they're hiding their struggles. Come on. We need to change our attitudes. We need to be more focused on what we want and be aggressive to pursue it. And I hope this was helpful for you. I am here every week with valuable content that allows you to grow your career, to make income and impact and live a fulfilling life. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.